This meeting is being recorded.
All right, well,
wow.
for the first time ever, we're live.
Wow. This is incredible. Being there in person with Ian this is gonna I think this could be the best episode yet.
Could be.
Episode 11?
Yeah.
Episode 11. Wow, we're really moving through time. I think this could be our best episode ever. We have probably my favorite guest so far, Mr. Talty.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to be on here. I feel privileged. Number 11
Yeah.
in person
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the best setup so far.
so far.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if you get some revenue out of this. Get a
We should.
studio, get a camera that follows
Once
everybody.
the ad revenue starts coming in, we'll really start upgrading. We'll have a theme song, maybe like some lights, and maybe we could have like our own like little like
Yeah.
desk, like I don't know, like an office space. Yeah.
Speaking of ad revenue, I do want to give a shout out to Notre Dame. Notre Dame University is the official sponsor for this episode of Chris and Ian's awesome podcast.
Wow.
Notre Dame has pledged to give us $6 million for a shout out in this episode.
Wow. Ian, I did not know that. You didn't tell me about that.
Surprise.
Wow. Okay, that's great. Very exciting. We can
Thank
use
you,
that
Notre
one.
Dame.
Yeah. Thank you, Notre Dame. Wow.
Should we do some like weekly updates?
Yeah, I can go into my updates, but I haven't done this week. I have my last week of research today, or this last week was my last week of research. I came home yesterday. Got home yesterday. Moved everything out very quickly. And then what else did I do? I had dinner with my family today. That was nice. We went to Wanda. It was very good. I got a good steak. And what else happened? Yeah. Oh, yesterday, I saw Ian again, and he came to my house with a bunch of cookies. He blessed me with his beautiful cookies. They're absolutely delicious. Very, very good, top tier. Very thoughtful of you to welcome me home.
Of course.
Yeah, that was very exciting. And then last night I hung out with Ian and Nate, and then I also went to the gym today with Nate. Yeah, that's my update. Yeah, pretty chill, but glad to be back. Glad to be in person for the first time.
Yeah. Let's see. This week, I got two big updates. Number one, you can probably see I got a haircut. So rocking the new look. Yeah. Thanks for noticing.
Yeah. Good haircut, Ian. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean people started to talk about it. There have been postings, rumors, of a new lady in the life because of the haircut. They're not true. They're not true. It's just taking a step forward professionally. So yeah, that was big update number one. Big update number two. I saw the new Superman movie.
Yeah, how was that?
It was awesome. Yeah, it was great. So shout out to Julian Durkin. Julian got me out there to see it. He was very excited about it. We had a great time. Yeah, it was awesome.
Wow. Very exciting. Well, lost the light.
His motion.
Oh, no. Yeah, so you got to stand up.
We have one more update.
I have one more update.
Yeah, he didn't. Okay, so yesterday, Ian pulled up to my house, and I was like, he pulled up in a random car. I was like, what? I was like, he gave me the cookies. I was like, Ian, whose car is that? I was like, what's up? And he's like, hey, I got a new car.
Yeah, I got a new car.
Yeah.
It's a green Ford Bronco Sport. So,
Wow.
yeah, pretty cool. If you see it, driving around town, what's up, I guess.
I'm gonna miss T24 wrap. It's bad.
A little more reliable than the Rogue, which needed work every time it was going back and forth to Notre Dame.
Mm.
And that was not something that I was feeling good about.
How this get brought up? You just decided that you need a new car, or was it like?
I wanted to keep the new car.
Oh, really?
He doesn't want to get rid of anything. So he said, you're getting a new
Yeah.
car. So if you want to have a say in what you get, and pick the range.
Mhm.
And then typical Ian, he insisted on paying some portion of it that was more than I wanted him to pay. So we're still negotiating on the payment terms, but
Mhm.
the car is my name.
I mean, no, this episode of the podcast is going to pay for that.
I pay for a lot of cars.
I hope you're right.
Cool.
Good luck with the car, Ian.
Right.
It's a nice ride.
All right, well, that's my update for the week. I got my first suit. So,
Your first suit, really?
yeah, first
You didn't have a
suit.
suit before
I
that?
did, no.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
the big money moves.
yeah. So, whole new man, I guess you could say. Walking
Suit?
around town.
Car, haircut. What else can you need?
updated your LinkedIn photo.
And I updated
I
my
saw that
LinkedIn
too. I did
profile
see that.
photo.
I did see that. I was like, wow, because I was looking at my LinkedIn, and you like popped up, and I was like, wow, it's a lot better. You know that old photo,
It was bad.
it was bad. That long hair. Well,
Well, shout out to your sister for taking the photo.
Shout out to Allison. She's definitely not watching this because she thinks it's stupid. But
she's not gonna watch this episode.
she,
She should.
We'll see.
It's a big deal.
what about you? Any big weekend updates?
No.
No.
I mean, the biggest update was at about 5 o'clock today, 5:30. I got the ask if I would be on the podcast tonight around sometime after 8. That was a big update. That's it. Just went down to the beach. Kind of crappy weather, but nice to get away.
What it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Best part of his week was coming on this podcast. I mean,
And it's starting my next week.
yeah.
Wow.
This is a marathon. Like, this is going to run until Monday.
Oh yeah.
24 hours.
A 4-hour.
Yeah.
Rogan's got nothing on us. Whoever does the long ones.
All right.
Very exciting.
You got any shout outs to give? Any people in your life?
Let me think. I want to shout out Pepe. I'll miss you. I said goodbye for him for the next 6-7 months.
Where's he going?
I'm going abroad to Copenhagen. He went back to Spain for the next 2 weeks, and he goes back to Richmond. So I let him with him this summer, but I will not be seeing him until the winter. Because that was sad. I dropped him off at the airport. But hope Spain's treating you well. He literally got in like 3 hours ago. It took him like over 30-something hours to get back. So he's back in Spain and hopefully living his best life. But that's my shout out. Any shout outs?
I mean, no, not really.
None, not a single one. Maybe
mean-
shout out your dad for buying you a new car.
Shout out to my dad.
I don't know. It's nice.
Anytime.
You got any shout outs? Anybody you want to give, mention to who might not get
Yeah.
a shout out on the podcast usually?
No, I mean, if I want to shout out throughout, this is your guys' intro.
Okay.
I've listened to all 10. I don't know how many people have listened to all 10. I've listened to all 10.
I know. It is like it's great to have one of our biggest fans on the podcast.
Uh,
Day one supporter here.
I may shout out throughout, but I know the format. You guys do shout outs.
Yeah,
And may have some creative suggestions as we go, but we'll see how that goes.
I would like to hear it.
Yeah, from the old EI.
Very exciting.
I'll shout out my mom.
Oh,
Yeah. She might be a little bit upset that my dad's on and not her. That's only because he's such a big fan. He's been wanting to get a shot to get on the big screen. But love you, Mom. Hope you're watching this and enjoying it.
I'm going to text her at some point and tell her to come down. This is in our backyard, so hopefully she
Yeah.
comes down at some point and joins us. And
sure. That'd be awesome.
Yep.
Always great to add another person to the conversation.
All right.
And where are we heading with this discussion?
All right. So I think we can start off pretty basic, right? Obviously, my dad, though he looks like, he looks our age, right? He looks like he could be a college student, right?
He does.
Yeah.
except for the ball.
That's
He's the oldest guest we've had on this podcast by a pretty wide margin.
More than double.
Yeah, more than double. 50 years old, turning 51 this year, right?
November, yeah.
Yeah.
wow.
So we got quite a significant age gap. So I don't know, I figure, our lives probably been so different from the life you had growing up. So I figure a good place to start would be, where it all began. Maybe just take us through a quick rundown of your childhood, growing up, whatever you think the biggest highlights are. We can kind of go from there.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm 50. So I grew up in Toms River, New Jersey, which is about 60 miles east of here, near Seaside Heights, if you're familiar with that. Grew up in the same house my whole life. My mom and dad worked a couple jobs each. Me and my brother, who's 3 years older, still get along great. He is in Bulgaria now, so he's asleep. I guess 6 hours ahead or 7 hours ahead, but I'm sure he'll be watching this at some point. So shout out to Brian. That'd be my first shout out.
Wow.
And he's going to actually play in this origin story a little bit, which I didn't think of it until this morning when Chris and Jack had a little story about how I guess Chris used to be angry or whatever. I'll get around to that. So I grew up in Toms River. I went to Toms River East, played baseball, Have a good group of friends I still keep in touch with. There's 7 of us, and they're all spread out. I think we're all in New Jersey, but different directions. Ian met all of them. Last year, we went to the Notre Dame Army game, and we rented a little bus, and all the friends came up with their spouses or kids or whoever wanted to come. Ian doesn't talk to his friends about things, apparently.
And I mean,
So,
I knew you were at the
went to
game, but you didn't mention all this. Like, it was like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to the game.
I said we went to the game for my dad's 50th birthday.
Yeah. So I invited my friends, and some of them brought their wives, and one brought his kid, and my brother came. Obviously, Melissa came. And I went to Rutgers in New Brunswick for my undergrad. I went to Rutgers Law right from there in Camden. That's where I met my wonderful wife, and that's very important for Ian because that's how this all happened. Trying to think, anything else am I leaving out? I'm going really quick. I majored in criminal justice and minored in religion, which neither has anything to do with anything I do now. What else is there? So, my brother, who I mentioned, was always looking out for me, much like I'm sure Chris is always looking out for Jack. Who's older?
Jack is.
Jack is by a minute or whatever, a couple minutes?
12 minutes.
12 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, long time.
I probably knew that at some point in Little League, but I forgot. So my brother was always looking out for me, and I was not unlike Ian, where I always wanted to like be the good kid and do the right thing and not disappoint anybody. And I was playing baseball in the backyard, and I really got a hold of one from the way our yard was set up, and it went through one of our windows. And I was actually pretty impressed because I had never hit it that far. And my brother was like, well, Dad's going to be happy you hit it far, but he's not going to be happy you broke the window. And I'm like, yeah, I feel terrible. He's like, yeah, you should punish yourself. And I'm like, okay, how could I do that? He was 3 years older. And so I was probably like 7, maybe. So he was 10. And in the back of, all the way back at the edge of our property, we had our fence and the back neighbor's fence. And so one of his, he's going to get a laugh out of this because he really thinks it's funny. One of his remedies of how I could punish myself is to climb in between the fence, and he would throw rocks at me. So I had kind of forgotten about that until I heard the rock throwing story, and he tried to couch it in. It was a snowball or whatever, and it doesn't sound.
It bounced off the garage. It wasn't my fault.
I've coached you guys a couple of years, so I saw how the Chris and Jack thing went back then. I'm not sure I buy that it was totally unintentional.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's your story, and so that was my punishment, and that wasn't enough. And luckily, my brother wasn't the best baseball player, so his aim was not great.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get hit that much, but I got a couple.
A
couple ricocheted and hit my leg, or whatever. And then he said, okay, well, that didn't work out. So we had like a swing set, the old like swing set metal, rusted metal. And he's like, you should hang upside down from that where the swing is, like next to the swing, and eventually you'll drop. And that will remind you like not to do. So that's what we did. And I came out okay, but I mean, maybe that helped me. I never broke a window again.
Wow.
But yeah, so and the last thing, when I was listening this morning, the last week's podcast, you were the pitcher one of the pitchers on our team,
Yeah, occasionally.
and your brother was the catcher.
He was, yeah.
And those are some of my funniest memories. Probably weren't funny for you guys
No.
because your dad would come out and he wouldn't say Chris, Christopher.
Sounds about right.
And then you'd be upset on the mound. And then Jack was catching and like you'd be jawing back and forth. And so finally I just said, after a few games of that, I just said, Jeff, your dad. I'm like, why don't you just like hang back and let them, we'll take care of that. You don't have to worry about your kid. And he's like, thank you. So it was entertaining watching the 3 car boys interact in different ways on that team. That's my origin story. Is there any holes I left? All right. I think that's about it. That's about it. Can I jump in with something?
Yeah,
go
for it.
I'm a little hurt that you guys didn't like remember that the 10th anniversary of that Yankees championship team,
Oh, wow.
2015. So as I was driving home, I was remembering the whole team. Yeah. And I was trying to. I mean, I know most of the kids still, but some I've lost track of them.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember not only all 11 kids, but then figure out what are they all doing now.
That's crazy.
So we got most of them. We got you at Richmond.
Yeah.
Dean's Notre Dame. We got Will Whiting and Owen McGuire at Colorado.
Wow.
Wow.
I'll quiz you guys. Okay, give me another one. That's 4 so far. Let's see.
Daniel
Bruce.
Plum.
Daniel Plum was on that team?
Yeah.
Bruce was not.
Bruce was
That was
not?
the first year that Ian and Bruce weren't on the same team. They wouldn't let us coach together.
Yeah, then.
Daniel Plum. That's the only one I do not know where he's at. That's 5.
Patrick Ryan.
Patrick Ryan, where's he at?
Delaware.
Along with,
My brother.
yep, that's 7. Keep going. These are all shout outs, by the way.
Matt DeMurgiando.
Yes,
That's a crazy point.
yes.
I don't know where he is.
He's at Rhode Island.
Okay.
I looked that up. I don't keep in touch with the family. But the best memory I have of Matt D, because I couldn't say his last name.
Against the Marlins.
Yep.
Playoff game.
Who hit the ball?
Trey Martin.
Jay Martin hit a shot, and Matt just drifted over, stuck his glove up deep right field, caught it. Mr. Martin, who's a great guy and a good friend, he was so mad at me after that game. He's like, "You got lucky like 7 times." I mean, it was great. And moved on. So that's 8.
Kevin Muller.
Muller, where's he at?
Rutgers. Right?
TCNJ.
Oh, what? Okay.
I think that's what it said on his LinkedIn. I LinkedIn stalked him. Tall guy,
Tall guy. Addison.
Addy. Yep. He's at Wake. And then it's okay because the kid's not. He's fine now. But the hero, the big guy,
Hero.
he almost killed George.
Oh, Jack Tardini.
Jack Tardini.
Oh, yeah, he did almost kill George.
That was wild.
Yeah, there was.
Came out okay.
Yeah.
But and he's at where? William and Mary.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
So
Forever.
thank you all, families, if you're listening. That was a great year.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't seriously hurt George. But that was an awesome year, and you guys won.
Yeah.
Did.
It's
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 teams that like obviously Mr. Anderson's team,
Yeah.
Mr. Martin's team, and I think Mr. Bond, right? Somebody else had a team, and they were convinced, or maybe it was Mr. Hurley. Somebody was convinced that they were going to win, and somehow the Yankees just kept winning.
We did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to play glory days because your lives have gotten a lot better since then.
That was a great time.
That was fun for 9, 10 years old, and yeah. So there you go.
Classic part of that George story is Jack Tardini hit George in the head with a ball. And I'm pretty sure we got the actual ball and we all signed it for him, right?
Oh, I think we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a
That-
cool memento that he got.
George was pitching. For those of you who don't remember the story, if you weren't there, I'm sure most of you were. George was on the mound. Jack was, if not the biggest kid in the league,
Yeah.
pretty close. And during batting practice down at the cages, which is kind of down the hill, Jack, who was a good player, but he wasn't always like his hitting. It was either hit or miss sometimes. He almost hit me like 4 times behind the health screen.
Mm.
And so I came up and Mr. Ryan, who's very intense and had been then, and it's just like very much into sports. He's like, "How do we look? How do we look?" I'm like, "Jack's gonna kill somebody today." Totally joking. I did not wish for that, but he was hitting it so hard, and so he hit a line drive at some point during the game. We were already winning by like 5 runs.
Yeah.
George, who was a really good pitcher that year, they had won the game before with Carl pitching, and it was George's turn, and we got enough runs off of him. The ball ricocheted, it hit the fence next to the dugout, which is on foul territory. So any of you math people out there wants to do the math, do the mound in between first and home, and however far it is, probably 15 more feet to the fence. It hit the ball in the air. Jack stopped running, and Mr. Ryan, who was coaching first, I think it was Mr. Ryan, was like, "Just get here, just get here." He didn't want me to get tagged out, and then we retrieved the ball. That was the end of the season. So all you guys got around and all signed a ball for each other to have the Yankees logo.
I still remember having that, and I have it in my room, and I remember Ian saw it and signed it, and I saw IAN, and for literally for like a year, I was like, "Who is IAN?" Because I had no idea how you spelled Ian, and I was so confused who signed the ball, and it didn't click till years later that it was Ian that signed it.
Yep.
I still have that ball in my room though.
And because the Yankees were always a classy team, and then you guys were always classy, we signed an extra ball. And then was it the next day? Once we found out George was okay, he went to the hospital, checked him out, and then they came home. we drove over to the Andrews house, which was on somewhere off of the downside of Washington, not far from you, right? And pulled him up and said, Ian, go get this ball. And I got a text from Mr. Andrews later on. I won't say the curse. He said, effing talkies. You can't just win. You got to be classy too. So it was a good time. Anyway, enough about 10-year-old baseball, 9-year-old baseball. Unless you guys, I'll talk later about it, but it's probably not a podcast.
No, I actually really enjoy it. You know, like I enjoy talking about this stuff. I don't know. From Mr. Todd, I want to hear your impression of my baseball skills and my brother's baseball skills. Did you ever, what was your interpretation of me? Was I a great player? Like I always thought, I was a good contact hitter.
You guys were solid to good players
Okay.
in whatever you did. So catching, your brother's left-handed.
He was, yeah. Which
So
made no sense.
Made no sense, but he still did it and he loved doing it. He seemed to love doing it.
He loved catching.
At that age, there were certain kids like Pat Ryan, right, who was like they could go on the mound and just throw BBs from 46 feet away, and you were not that. Neither of you were that pitcher, and you didn't shy away from it. You wanted the ball, even if your dad was going to get on you about something. Like, just throw strikes.
I couldn't.
And I know you didn't say this, but you should have said, "Do you think I'm trying to throw strikes?" But no, good to solid players. Contact hitters. You guys reminded me of the Ironbirds.
Mm-hmm.
Your brother had the winning hit
We did, yeah.
against Mr. Hurley's team on big field,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a ground ball between first and second, if I remember
Sounds about right,
correctly.
yeah.
And so yeah, I would say you ended up being better at football than baseball, but you guys were good solid players, which I knew that because I picked the team.
Yeah.
So there's a method for all of it. Even those who contributed in different ways, we tried to get the most out of them, and most of the kids were invested enough to where they were able to get the most out of themselves.
Yeah.
Is that a good answer?
That was a great answer. That's weird to think about how you guys had like drafts of like kids. But,
Yeah, I know. There's stories I won't go into because we're sworn to secrecy, and that's not a big deal now because half the people are gone. But there was some weird shit that went on at those drafts. And hey, Chip. Hey, Chip. And I actually became very friendly because I didn't really know him well with Mr. Andrus, Coach Andrus, during those drafts.
Mhm.
And to my surprise, because what I knew of him, we didn't really get along up to that point. And then we both had teams in that was black minors, right? The last year of minors and in majors. We would kind of, sit next to each other at the draft, and some crazy stuff would go on, or people were like, "I'm not taking that kid no matter what." Well, just take whoever then, and so he was really. I had a lot more in common with him after that. Like I realized we had a lot more in common, because, I'm sure it's not surprise to anybody who's been coaching, whatever. But some people were really out for like just to win.
Yeah.
Like they would have rather have had like the 11 best players, or what they thought were 11 best players, and let the other teams figure it out, than have like a balanced, like each team's got a couple of the top players, and then each team's got a couple of the next couple players, and then each team's got a couple of players who's the first time playing,
Mm.
or they're just not really, doesn't come together athletically, right? But they're out there, they want to be part of a team, they want to try, they want to have fun, and which is, that's, to me, baseball is the greatest game, because I like all the sports, but like there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
Right? You're on a mound, nowhere to hide. You're catching. You're in the field. The ball's hit to you. It's not like, and there's difficulty in all the sports. But in basketball, you can kind of have a down day, and everybody's moving back and forth, and teammates pick you up. If you're at the bat and you're not hitting well, it's lonely.
It is. Yeah.
So to battle through that and to support your teammates, and then to, I'm convinced that, and there's examples I'm sure in other sports that I'm not thinking of, but in baseball, like with Ian, if he went in to take like, SATs or an interview for college or whatever, I can't imagine by that point in time that it was that much more intimidating than facing a kid who was throwing 87 miles an hour or 90 miles an hour, and you knew they were going to Division I, and they might get you,
Mm.
like the Audubon kid. there was no, Gabe, nowhere to hide, right? You weren't hitting well and he was pitching perfect. There's nowhere to hide, but
Okay,
that happens in work, that happens in
Yeah.
school, that happens in sports. So it's, anybody who can make it through that is, I think they're better off for it.
yeah, I agree. I learned a lot from baseball. I learned that I don't have great patience. Uh,
Oh, yeah, shush.
I, I just remember striking out, and every time I struck out, I was very upset, very very upset. But,
You might have been one of those that would either start to or actually bang the bat on the ground after you struck out. I kind of remember that a couple times, and but that's part of it. You
yeah,
gotta,
yeah.
if you're 22 years old and like,
I think I moved past that.
yeah, if you haven't moved past it by the time you're in your 20s,
Yeah.
that's problematic. But
Yeah,
so thanks for a good year and all the years.
it was a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Jury's still out if Chris has moved past that phase, but
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we were playing spike ball a couple weeks ago,
Oh my God.
and me and Nate beat Chris and his girlfriend Marlo, and Chris went and took a 10-minute walk by himself to cool down.
It's hard when your teammate just isn't good, and you're trying.
All right. Listen, can I offer advice?
Yeah.
I'm like an old guy now, so all I do is offer advice wherever I can.
Yeah.
And usually most of it's not good. However, you got to come prepared. When you're giving ratings out to people, you cannot let this guy lock you into a 94 and an 88 and there's no room for your girlfriend.
No, that was bad. I heard.
That was really bad.
She talked to me about it after.
You got to be smarter than that, Chris.
Shout out Marla. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so that's the first thing. And then I know it's shtick, but if you agree to play any athletic thing like spike ball or whatever with your significant other, you've got to be willing to, whatever happens. You got to be cool.
Yeah.
So the walk, you walk it off, that's fine. But it certainly wasn't her fault. It was your fault.
Okay.
Well, look at it this way. If Kima wasn't very good, it was your fault for picking them as a teammate and not leveling your expectations. So, or just don't say it.
Fair enough.
Fair enough,
That's
yep.
good. That's good advice. I'll next time we play spike ball, I'll be more collected, to say the least.
Or just be complimentary to your girlfriend.
Yeah, that's it. That could work.
I don't know, Marla.
Yes.
Was she at the house outside when you guys were there?
She was. Yeah.
I didn't meet her.
No.
But if she's with you, I'm sure she's a nice girl and she's got relatively decent judgment. So you should probably be nicer to her on the podcast
Yep, you're right.
and not rank her at an 87.
Okay, I got locked in. I said there was no one between me and Pepe, and then Ian of course asked that question. I couldn't backtrack on myself.
I kind of felt like Ian's now like, even though he's chemistry and math,
Yeah,
that was like a lawyer move.
it was.
So I'm not really happy about that. So it was also a mathematical. He was calculating
He
where he would
was.
go next.
He thought about that.
But no, all good, all good. It's okay to get mad when you lose something. I still get a little bit. I don't like to lose.
Yeah.
You guys know that from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I know from like an hour ago.
What I do.
You lost half a burger on the grill. You were cursing it out.
The burger split in half. It was my burger. I saved both halves, but they split. But it was all right. So I had a double burger. But I didn't lose. That's just the Irish temper.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right. Well, unless anybody has anything else, I have like kind of a different direction, but kind of building off.
Mhm.
So, kind of going back to your childhood, I'm interested, right? You got somebody who lived, right? You were born in 1974, lived the 80s, the 90s, right? Probably gives you some unique taste. I'm interested to hear, right? Like, because I get a lot of my taste from you. Kind of what was the pop culture scene? What was the sports scene like then? Tell me about, your experience with liking sports teams. What music was coming out? What was that, that vibe like? Was it jive? And then the movies you were watching too. Like what was popular? Was it popping? Was it cooler back then if we're talking about culture of the 1980s, 90s compared to now, 2010s, 20s?
no, it was not cooler. But then it seemed cool. I don't remember any of that stuff until the 80s, until like the 80s.
Mhm.
So sports wise, I liked the Cowboys and the Yankees. My father liked the Cowboys and the Yankees. It's a strong tradition for Talty men to like those teams. It worked out better for me than it has for Ian thus far.
Okay.
But You'll get your turn. But I remember the first game I watched that I really got impacted by, and my mother yelled at me and said I wasn't going to be able to watch sports again, was I don't know if you guys know the NFC Championship game, 49ers versus Cowboys. Joe Montana threw it to Dwight Clark in the corner of the end zone, back of the end zone, put them in the Super Bowl. And it was like the last 28 seconds, and it was heartbreaking. And I was laying on the couch at 7 years old crying. My mother was like, and my dad was yelling or whatever, which is exactly what I do now. He doesn't cry, but I yell. And my mother was, if you're going to get upset about these games, you're just not going to watch them again. Not again. So the sports were cool because the local teams were on. There was games of the week, but there was no streaming. There was no internet. There was nothing. So you were lucky if you got like 2 games on. We were in Philadelphia, across between Philadelphia and New York Broadcasting. So we got the Phillies, the Yankees, the Mets. We got the Eagles, the Jets, the Giants, usually. Same thing with whoever with basketball and hockey. I wasn't into hockey, but like that was whatever the cable networks then, that's what you got. And then for football, much like now, there was like NBC, AB, whatever it was. And so you're lucky to watch a couple games a week. I would watch the Yankee games; they were always on. But everything else, you had to pick up the newspaper. No internet, no tablets, no nothing, no phones, no cell phones, and you had to pick up the newspaper and look at the stats. And I don't even know if I haven't read a hard newspaper in a while, but like it was the Asbury Park Press. They had a full page of baseball stats every day, all the box scores. Then they had at the weekend all the cumulative stats. And so me and my friends were like, that's what we look at to see who was doing good and not good. ESPN started coming out. So there was like a wrap-up show, but it was nothing like now. They had to wait for it. But so that was kind of cool because actually now it's like too much.
Yeah.
Like it's so instantaneous. I can pick up the phone and look and see what everybody's doing in like 5 minutes. The pop culture was it's actually pretty cool. If you look back on it now, it was like Terrible Style. A lot of one-hit wonders. So if you guys if you haven't gone to Apple Music and say 80s one-hit wonders or whatever, there's a playlist super huge of just like bands one hits and that's it. But really, some really good songs. Like Madonna, Billy Joel, Michael Jackson, Pat Benatar. There's a lot of good acts. Couple probably my favorite song. I was just talking about it with Ian's mom today, or yesterday when we were walking. Is it "Take On Me" or "Take Me On" by a-ha? A really good song. I don't know why. I don't know why it sticks with me. I think it's like 40 years old, but that and the Moody Blues, "Wildest Dreams." Not Taylor Swift's "Wildest Dreams," which is a good song too, by the way. But yeah, the pop culture was really good. Movies. The best year for movies I think that I've ever seen is look at 1984. Natural came out, didn't win the best picture. I think Gandhi won. And there's like 10 movies. You're like, oh my God, that's great. Probably one of the Star Wars or whatever's there.
Yeah.
You can only watch them in the movie theater. Actually, got to go and sit and a lot cheaper than it is now. So what else? Was there more questions than that?
Yeah, but I'll chime in first and then.
I'm old. I forget the questions.
I was just gonna say, I think that my equivalent, you said Joe Montana, Dwight Clark when you're 7 years old. My equivalent to that would be 2014. I was 9 years old. Cowboys in the divisional round against the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. Des Bryant ruled no catch. Just absolutely heartbreaking. That first season, I actually was like really into football, and it ended that way. The closest the Cowboys have come, like the last 20 years to having something real. That was a heartbreaker.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
well, you're gonna get that, right? Your Eagles have done well lately, but
Yeah.
they've had a lot of heartbreak before that with McNabb and Reed.
Yeah, we were not good for a while.
But you were good enough to give yourself hope, which is sometimes even more painful.
Yeah.
But no, 80s was a good time. Music was good, movies were good. The fads were weird. The movies were like the Breakfast Club type movies. You guys have seen? I know you've seen the Breakfast Club, right?
Yeah.
Weird Science. I mean, I don't know.
16 Candles.
16 Candles. I don't know if they'd make it now. Rom-coms, you know, like the rom-coms. I don't know if they'd even make those now, because it'd be like not a huge budget, because I don't think they'd go into movies and make a lot of money on the weekend, and it wouldn't last.
You need like the aesthetic. It's a very specific style and look.
Yeah. And Ferris Bueller's Day Off is hilarious. So when you hear they don't make movies like that, you gotta pop up with that, okay?
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, we got 5 minutes left on this.
Oh, no.
How long did we get?
It's 40 minutes free.
Oh my God, we've been talking that long?
Yeah. They, once you're in the podcast, you know, you lose track of
We
time.
might go 4 hours. Augie, calm down. He's even enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were we saying?
You're saying they don't make movies.
Oh,
like they
yeah.
used to?
That phrase, like they really don't make them like they used to. Music still bounces around, rock and roll. You mentioned music that you get some influence from me. I knew Born in the USA with Springsteen. I think that was mid 80s. I didn't really get into Springsteen until like late 80s, because my brother, I just found his old tape cassettes.
Yeah.
Before the CDs.
Wow.
We were a little bit after 8-track, so we don't go that far back. But you'd pop it in and like, oh my God, this is great. And everybody would copy the tapes. So you'd have some that were like the original looking, and you have others that were blank tapes, and you'd handwrite on like Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run, and you would just like copy it. So it was a good time, but the movies definitely they don't make them like that anymore. Because they wouldn't make money.
So, 80s or 2010s, which are you taking? What decade?
Obviously the 10s, because you guys are there.
Oh.
However, if the question's different,
Like pop culture.
if I could see you guys grow up in the 80s
Yeah.
with that pop culture,
Yeah.
I would take the 80s every day of the week.
Okay.
I just I don't know what, there seems to be like a lack of attention span now. Like I was trying to think the other day, like, I like old guy bands. I like, not that old, but like U2 and Killers and Springsteen, and even Mumford & Sons is getting kind of older. I couldn't think of new bands that really stick around that I hear. Like at least the music that I would listen to, type of music. Like I guess the Imagine Dragons kind of, but they've been around for a decade as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, you guys have to educate me over time on what new bands I should listen to that are actually good.
I listen to like 85% Bruce Springsteen. So.
Yeah, I'll say that's a testament to what you think about the music. Chris, what about you? What's your favorite band right now?
My favorite band right now.
Or just a favorite band?
My favorite band is probably the Chili Peppers, but
Okay.
like
They're
nothing.
30
Yeah, I
years old.
don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah,
So
nothing.
there you
Like,
go.
nah, you're right.
Hey, so I
agree.
saved my time. Thank you. I appreciate it. So we switch over?
Yeah, we should switch over. All right, we'll be right back.